Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town for this Friday, March 18th. Third Friday of the month. This time we bring in the telephone man. He is Greg Clark with AT&T. He's on the other side of our Zoom connection this morning. Greg, good morning. Hope all is well with you and your family.
Hi, Gary. How are you this morning? So good to see you.
Yeah, I think somebody on the other side of the Zoom connection got some sleep. But anyway.
Springing forward has been challenging this year, but, my kids are with you. They are totally against it.
Okay.
They want no part of daylight savings time.
Because they have to get up and, go to school in the dark, but that's neither here nor there. If you got a question about phone service or telecommunications in general, yes, Greg is with AT&T and he'll talk about his company. But if there's something industry-wide, Greg will be happy to answer your question at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. Before we talk about AT&T, I do want to talk about the challenges of staying connected in a situation such as we are seeing half a world away in Ukraine. Obviously, it may not be directly tied in with AT&T, but as all phone carriers and internet and telecommunications carriers are, making sure that country doesn't become isolated and out of touch with communications is so very important.
It is, Gary, and in all seriousness, my thoughts and prayers are with the people of Ukraine who are enduring an unspeakable tragedy right now. I've got friends. I do salsa dancing, and I have friends that are in the dance community who are here in Michigan who are from Ukraine, and we talk frequently. I hope it ends soon. But from a communications perspective, at AT&T, we are offering unlimited long-distance calling to the U.S., from the U.S. to Ukraine, to all customers through the end of this month. We started that on February 26th. We're waiving all international roaming charges to provide talk, text, and data from Ukraine to anywhere in the world. To your listeners who are encouraged to do something more tangible, I've got 3 different numbers here. They can text Ukraine, the word Ukraine, to, if I may, that's okay to put that over air, 25383 to make a one-time $25 donation to the International Rescue Committee. They're on the ground in Ukraine and Poland providing medical care, refugee support. You can text 80100 to make a one-time $10 donation to UNICEF. We're also on the ground with water, hygiene, life-saving programs for children. And you can text Ukraine to 52,000 to make a one-time $10 donation to the Salvation Army National Organization, who are also providing shelter, spiritual care, food, clothing to all the affected families. It's just a terrible, terrible situation. I'm distraught about it. I hope it ends soon.
We all agree with that. And the other aspect and the other slice of that particular piece of bread, for no pun intended, trying to contact and have communications with those living in Russia, where the government perhaps is locking down. We saw a video of a protester basically putting up a sign in a television newscast, and that protester may be heading to central Siberia as we speak. What about the challenges of trying to get people behind, maybe, to use an old Cold War term, behind the Iron Curtain communication, so that they know really what's going on instead of the party line from Vladimir Putin and the Communist Party in Russia?
Yeah, so, our prayers are with the people of Russia as well, who didn't want this war, didn't see it coming. Roaming in Russia is expensive. And, we hope and pray for the people of Russia who want freedom. They want the freedom and liberty that we have here in this great country of ours, the US of A. And I hope it's going to come soon. I believe that the actions that the U.S. government is taking to do some things that help speed up a ceasefire, a compromise, and end to this tragedy. I mean, it's got to end soon, right?
Yeah, and I didn't want to make this a political or a social commentary, but obviously,
It is.
to a certain extent, telecommunications industry is a part of it. And I remember a line when the Soviet Union went down in 1989, 1990. Some say the fax machine was one of its biggest downfalls. Maybe the internet can be a factor in making sure it doesn't come back up again.
Right. You know, at our company, we don't throttle or block websites. The Russian government, frankly, is trying to do that. I think there's no way they're going to be able to completely throttle everything. And I think in the end, the people and the freedom is going to win.
Greg, let's talk for a few moments about the AT&T Foundation, what it does, and some of its most recent accomplishments.
Well, absolutely. So our foundation has been in the community for 100 years. In 2020, we're focused on helping communities recover from the pandemic, helping specifically kids recover from the pandemic, focus on education, the digital divide, the homework gap. How do we close the homework gap? Programs that enable broadband access, adoption, equity, digital learning, job training programs and skilling, programs that help kids matriculate successfully from elementary. We actually start our programs as early as kindergarten, helping kids get successful from kindergarten through elementary, through junior high, and through high school, and into a career of their choice. And also with adults, we're looking to get some reskilling, focused on that, primarily on education, but also on community support and safety, health and human service, and arts, media, and culture. I mean, the community of Holland, where you are, is just completely immersed in just a wonderful cultural art experience. And we are looking to identify community partners in that area that we can help engage more with the community in respect to that. And just pretty exciting. We're working on a timeline to get some projects up and running this summer. And so I would encourage your listeners. And I've gotten a few calls, Gary, since the last time we talked from inspired constituents looking to engage more with the company. I'm extremely encouraged. I'm grateful for that. So looking forward to doing more of that. I will, if I could just swing back for a minute on one thing that you mentioned earlier in your previous segment. You talked about the NCAA basketball tournament. Your listeners may not know that David Lewis is the president of AT&T Michigan. Dave's daughter, his eldest daughter, is in the Women's March Madness tournament. She's a freshman on the IU-PUI basketball team. They won the Horizon League championship. Indiana University, Purdue University of Indiana. And so they punched their ticket 2 weeks ago to the big dance. They've got their first game this Saturday night. They're a 13 seed, and they're going to play number 4 seed Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And so for your listeners who are so inclined, hop on, watch the games on ESPN, one of their channels. We'll be rooting for Logan Lewis and Dave Lewis and the whole AT&T family as we try to get something done for Team Michigan down in Oklahoma tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to do something
heavy lift
away from our neck of the woods, where we could have 2 NCAA champions in women's basketball in this county. Hope needs to win 1 more game. Grand Valley needs to win 3. They could do it. They did it in 2006.
They can do it, yes.
They can do it again. And then it would be nice. Well, I don't know if AT&T can. Well, after all, AT&T is not a corporate partner. What's the? I forgot the NCAA's terms for its the major sponsors. I forgot the term they use, but maybe we can allow the NCAA waive the requirements and get a charity game between the Flying Dutch and the Lakers. Which team is better?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
know. We'll see. I'm just pitching the idea.
there's an idea somewhere in there for our foundation, for community support, programs that support technology, online, all that sort of thing. So I think that let me run with that.
Yeah, okay. Let me ask you a marketing question because that's part of what you do with AT&T, Greg. How successful has the Lilly program been as the spokeslady for
Oh,
AT&T?
so it's tremendously successful. Folks have grown attached to Lilly, and there's some contests out there right now where folks can appear virtually with Lilly in various cases. You can learn more about that at att.com, and she's just been. We had a pitch with her a few years back, and we went away from her, and the customer outcry bring Lilly back, and so we brought her back a couple of years ago. She's got tremendous staying power, tremendous connection with our customer base, and the young lady that portrays her. I mean, it's just beyond her dreams. That she found her. Hey, another note: we've also worked Matt Stafford into one of our pitches, and so it's a pretty creative pitch where he's longing for his 12 years in Michigan, and as he upgrades his phone that he's had for 12 years and makes a wink and a nod back to his loving fans back here in the great state of Michigan. Check that one out too.
Yeah, Matt Stafford. He's a world champion right now with the Los Angeles Rams. But let's put it this way: you get 12 years in one market. That's it. The Lions get into one's blood. Now, a couple other things. Broadband, and certainly that has become a very popular thing. AT&T has been busy in that regard, hasn't been?
We've been busy. It's our intent to become America's best broadband provider. We've focused our company in that regard going forward with best-in-class fiber optic networks. We believe in owning and operating the network, both fiber and wireless. We think we'll have strong flexibility to deliver broadband in more places for consumers and for business. We do plan to double our fiber footprint to 30 plus million homes over the next few years. We're adding 3.5 to 4 million customer locations, residential locations each year. So it'll take us probably 3 years to get that, double that. And it's coming to Ottawa County. And we're looking to partner with folks in Ottawa County to make that happen, to accelerate that. Also focus on wireless. We expect to enhance our most reliable, best 5G network by deploying more mid-band spectrum to cover more people by the end of 23. Mid-band spectrum, which we talked about last month, commonly known as C-band, provides really the best combination of fast speeds and geographic coverage. We already reached about 250 million people in more than 16,000 cities and towns, and we're going to overlay that with our C-band spectrum. That's going to really provide even stronger, more effective, more satisfying coverage to the population out there. And there's lots of other things to ride on top of that. Folks can run into our stores over in Holland, over in Grand Haven, talk to our folks. We'd be happy to talk the latest and greatest products and deals and things like that with them. We've got opportunities for military members, military discounts, first responder discounts, and really cool products for firefighters who are volunteer firefighters, to really neat, nifty solutions for them to embrace that. For teachers as well. Lots of bundles as well, but on the business side too. If you go to business.att.com, small business owners in the area can go to business.att.com and see some really cool immersive demos, just kind of walk through and visualize how some of these things can work from an Internet of Things perspective, cybersecurity, cloud storage, entertainment, digital. We talked international earlier, how we can enhance our international customer base. I'm sure plenty of companies operating in and around the Holland and Ottawa that do business internationally, and lots of great solutions there as well. So the other thing we've got is we're always hiring somewhere, Gary. I looked out on att.jobs. This is where all of our position repository is. There's over 100 postings out there today, including several that are work from home opportunities. And so I'd encourage your listeners, who I love to hear from. I've gotten probably 4 or 5 calls since the last time we talked, and it just delights me and warms my heart that folks can call and talk with me, and we can help solve some problems, get some questions answered. But folks who are looking to join Team AT&T, head out to att.jobs and make your case. You folks in Michigan are as competitive and as talented and as ethical and as driven, as hardworking as any people on this planet. And we are just delighted to add to that base of the family with folks who are based here in Michigan.
Let me ask you a news type of question. As you mentioned about with the broadband work and by owning and operating both fiber and wireless, what would be AT&T's stance about what is going on in Holland, where the Holland BPW is trying to set up a fiber optic infrastructure that would create a competitive market for those that provide products and services across the broadband network? The term we heard from local officials is that they would build like a road for all providers, AT&T and others,
Right.
to use. Is that something that AT&T would buy in, or do you want more of, hey, let us do our own thing and not have to go and worry about sharing it with other people?
We strongly believe that the private sector, if you look at, the trillions of dollars invested in not only building, but operating the network, the private sector is best equipped. And there's lots of historical use cases on things like that, where these activities have been tried to varying degrees, but in the end, nothing beats having business do what business does best, is own and operate, provide a competitive service. Government has a role in an important role in the facets of our citizens' life. We don't necessarily believe that telecommunications fits in that lane. And building open access networks is probably in that gray area. We would prefer more of a public-private partnership, frankly, where we would work with communities. If they put out a RFI, a request for information, we are happy to respond to that, share our build plans, share where our network stands today, share our speed plans, talk about our capital investments, and work together to see how we can expand and accelerate that, with business driving that and not government.
One final thing, Greg, if customers, especially AT&T customers, might have some issues with AT&T or try to maybe get through some of the red tape. I know your predecessor, Ruth Goddard, who retired at the end of last year, was more than happy to have listeners call her directly. What about you?
Absolutely. Folks can call me at 313-505-0299 or via text, or call me at 248-217-1360 or by text, or email me gregory.clark@att.com. I look forward to talking to your listeners, connecting, continue to build a relationship. It's an honor and a privilege. I don't take it lightly. So, Gary, thank you very much.
Greg Clark, as always, we appreciate the time you spent with us as the telephone man from AT&T. Wish you and everybody at AT&T well over the next month, and if all goes well, we'll do this again in April.
Thanks. You as well, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you very much. Greg Clark from AT&T on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.